Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be an Ask Mr. Hall of Fame video, which is the series where you guys ask me any questions you want about anything whatsoever. And, I don't care, music, life, world events, don't really care. Just kind of gives me an opportunity to interact with you guys on levels beyond just, showing records. And I absolutely love that. So I appreciate you guys leaving the questions and, kind of supporting this series. You can leave as many questions as you want. You can ask as often as you want. The only thing that I do ask is please do not leave your questions on this video. Go to that video link down below. Leave all your questions on that video. That way it's all on one thread, one video. Makes it really easy for me to answer the question, give it a thumbs up and a heart, and that way I know which ones I've answered and which ones I need to answer for the next future videos. So let's just kind of jump right into it. First question here is by Scott Jacobs, and Scott says, hey Brandon, first question, what do you do for work? I'm a financial advisor, been doing that for about 19, 20 years now, so been in practice for a while. Secondary job, I guess you could say, for the past 3.5 years, I've worked in some shape or form at a record store. Always for store credit. It's just kind of a great way to help fund the addiction, without having to spend as much money, and also get to hang around the guys and gals that I want to hang around with anyway. So it's kind of the absolute ultimate win-win situation. So love that. Scott's second question is, with as many records that you have, how often, if ever, do you feel the need to purge vinyl that you may not listen to anymore, or bought on a whim and didn't like, doubles, etc.? Not so much to make room for more, just keeping it to the stuff that you actually listen to. Yeah, really good question there, Scott. And I would say, over the years, I've seen a lot of people that have made videos that they say, they're purging their collection because I don't listen to this anymore, right? For me personally, that would be the absolute last reason on my list that I would ever even think about purging an album, is because I don't listen to it anymore. For me, like, every album that goes on my shelf is something that I absolutely love, in the sense that there's something on that album that has made me feel something that I know I want to feel again, or has made me think or reminisce on something that I'm going to want to think about or experience again in some way. Like, that's the rule for an album making it onto my shelf in the first place. So for me, there really isn't an album that I could say it's in my collection that I don't want to listen to anymore, I don't listen to anymore. If anything, albums on my shelf are there because I'm not listening to it right now. Like, that's the way I view the stuff that's in my collection. Because even when you mentioned the second part, stuff you bought on a whim and didn't like, that stuff will never ever even make it into my collection. I'll never buy a number of records on, like I said, a whim or a blind buy, and be like, oh, that really wasn't something that I thought was kind of that neat or that special, but I'll go ahead and put it on the shelf with the records and file it away. And it's like, no, if I listen to that album up front and there's nothing on it that makes me feel, like this is something I'll need to go back to, or I want to experience again, or whatever, it's an immediate purge. It does not get put into my collection whatsoever. And so everything that is on my shelf is always something that, like I said, that have some connection with something on it. So it's never I don't listen to it anymore. It's always in my mind and emotionally for me, I'm just not listening to it right now. At some point, I probably am going to listen to it again. I only say probably because I only have so many minutes in this lifetime, and you just can't, you're not going to be able to get back around to everything. But I don't know exactly the next thing that I'm going to want to get back around to. So, like a great example is maybe a few weeks ago, Level Andrew and I were chatting on Instagram, and he had mentioned that there was some 80s R&B stuff he was going to start looking for. And I was like, oh, give me an idea. I'll kind of keep an eye out. And one of the bands that he mentioned was Loose Ends, right? Which is a band that I've loved since like junior high. I mean, the 80s R&B band, which is really, really, really awesome. So I went and pulled my Loose Ends albums out after we chatted, and for that about an entire week, I was just spinning both those albums and was just enjoying the heck out of them. I mean, you would have swore if someone would have came in that week, that was like my favorite band. I was just playing them over and over and over. And I went out digging one day and I found a Loose Ends Greatest Hits CD, and I picked that up. And, so I was just really, really enjoying the band. I think it's realistic to say that it might have been more than 4 or 5 years since I've spun both those albums, like maybe even longer than that. So that kind of goes back to, that's how I experience and connect with my collection is, yeah, those albums have been sitting on my shelf for years since I had spun both of them. But a few weeks ago, you would have swore that was my favorite band, because it was just a matter of that they weren't the memories and the experiences that I've been pulling up for the past 5 years. There were other bands and other music, but that week, it was like everything I love about Loose Ends just came right back to the forefront. So that's kind of why I would never purge an album just because I haven't listened to it in a while, because it very easily could be the thing that I'm so into for the next week or month, just right down the road. So it's all about just keeping the things that I love that represent me and connect with me. So yeah, very good question, man. Next question here is by Alex Vincent, who says, "Hello, Mr. Hall of Fame. I have a few questions." He has 4 here. Number 1, how many pieces of CDs, cassettes, and vinyl do you assume you have? I just went through my Excel spreadsheet and did a quick sort before I started the video here. And if you count all my vinyl records, and that's also going to count the records that I have in my box sets. So like if a box set has 5 studio albums in it, it'll count as 5. So between everything in my box set, just kind of my regular collection, if you will, I have 4,582 LPs, and same thing with the CDs, between my individual CD collection and the box sets, counting each individual album that's in the box sets, 3,173 CDs, 1,628 cassettes, and about 472 45s. So that's kind of the basic numbers on my collection. Second question was, what do you think about 8-tracks? I think 8-tracks are awesome. I would love to get into collecting those more. I've just kind of found over the years that it takes a lot more work and knowledge to be a good 8-track collector. Billy Hurst, Riverbend Records here in the VC, he's a huge 8-track collector. And just over the years, kind of getting the understanding of him, of if you truly want your 8-tracks to last and not be snapping on you, and these tapes have been sitting around for just decades and so forth, he knows how to open them up, go into them, resplice them, change the pads and all that stuff. And it's just always seems just a little more than I wanted to get into myself. But I think 8-tracks are awesome. I would love to have an awesome 8-track and reel-to-reel collection. Number 3, question 3 is, why is your name Mr. Hall of Fame? Well, the week I was setting up my YouTube account back in 2008, I think, I got a call from my coach. That I played basketball in college, where he told me that I got inducted into the Hall of Fame at my college. So just kind of that week experiencing that, it was awesome news. I thought it was the greatest thing ever, and I need a new username, and so Mr. Hall of Fame just kind of came about. Question number 4, what is your favorite part of being in the VC? I would say it's probably 2 things that are kind of connected. I mean, I think number 1 has to be, of course, the friendships that you develop. Like I said, I mentioned Billy Hurst over at Riverbend all the time, and I mean, he and I have been friends for a number of years now, and he and I met through the VC. That's how we met. I just went out to dinner this past weekend with someone I just met probably literally just a few months ago. I actually started chatting for the first time. And I think that's kind of cool, because when you get to the age or the stage of being an adult, where you have work, you have your life. I mean, I don't have kids, but a lot of people obviously in the VC have kids and family and just all the stuff that takes up so much of your time in your life. It can be hard enough to keep the friends that you had all those years through college and everything else. Like, it's hard enough just to keep them and keep in contact with them, much less the idea of trying to go out and make new friends. I mean, it's like, that's just a hard thing to do as you get older. So I think it's kind of cool that, this one of the cool things the VC allows is you can make new adult friends in a time that's sometimes usually hard to make new adult friends. And so, like I said, just mentioned kind of Billy, like I said, just mentioned having, dinner with a new friend, and even like, the Fab Five here in the VC, like, Jeff Witcher, JC, Aaron Mutha Alamere, Chris Profe, Gary over at Physical Format, having an opportunity to actually start to become closer friends with those guys and interact outside of just the VC. Like, there are very few places in life where you can have a group of guys like that, for example, that are that close, and there's a door that's been open for you to actually become a part of their friendship. Like, there's just not a lot of places you can just go out and do that, it's, and, but the VC is just kind of one of those places that offers that type of magic, if you will. So being able to have an opportunity to get to know those guys a little bit better, and I always kind of say, even have the chance to dip my toe into that circle of tight friendship that they have, is just absolutely amazing, and I love it to death. And that's one of the things that the VC is just awesome with, is just being able to build those type of relationships and friendships. Now, on kind of a broader level, which I think even sums all of that up, I've always said too that one of my favorite things about the VC is not only the friendship piece, but having a place you can go to where people, and at least someone, gets it. Oh my gosh. And I think those of you that have been avid, crazy collectors and just music fanatics all your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've spent so much of my life, sharing with people that, oh yeah, I really like music, I'm really into music, and all this type of stuff. And you'll get those type of comments where it's like, oh yeah, really, I like music too. And that's fine. You don't judge anyone or anything like that, because everyone can dive into music the way they want to dive into it. As deep as they want, and as shallow as they want, and everything else. That's the great thing about it, is there's no wrong way for you to enjoy music. But then there is always just kind of this little piece, I think, that floats underneath the surface, where you sometimes also feel like you don't love music the way I'm talking about. Like, you don't understand what I'm talking about, and like, you don't say that to anyone, because again, they're allowed to enjoy music the way they want to enjoy it. But you also kind of know people that love you, have been around you, that care about you, friends with you, and that type of thing. But you're still just like, okay, yeah, I know you guys want to, but you just do not understand the significance of what this means to my life. I know you like music. I know you like your Spotify playlists. I know you like turning on the radio. You like going out dancing and all of that. But you just do not get what, like, the level that this is as far as significance within my life. But then you go turn to the VC, and here's 1,000, 10,000 freaks that totally get it. Matter of fact, you maybe look at some of them and go like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're taking it to a whole nother level. And I think that's an awesome thing, to be able to have a place to go to where you just actually know, I have people that get this. They understand why I have to have 4 copies of this exact same album. They don't think it's weird. They don't ask why. It's just like, I get it. Matter of fact, I have 6 of them. It's like that truly is something that's very magical to me about it. So yeah, good questions there, Alex. Where are we at? 14. Let me squeeze in one more question here. Let's go to Ken Motley, who says, hello, Brandon, my friend. How you doing, Ken? I have a lengthy question and a short question. What is your favorite rock band in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s and beyond? And the short question, what is going on behind you with the posters, wall hangings covered up in black? Stay safe, my friend, and keep rocking. You as well, Ken, man. I appreciate it. Okay, I'll take a quick stab at the first part of that, and I'm just going to kind of run through it, because that's a question, if I really, really think about it, narrow it down, I could spend a month trying to narrow it down on that. So just off the top of my head, I'm going to say 1960s, first thing that comes to mind is Chuck Berry. In my mind, he's the king of rock and roll. So I'm gonna pick that for the 60s. 70s. I'm gonna say like Deep Purple or maybe Led Zeppelin. Actually, yeah, Deep Purple or Led Zeppelin. Again, I'm kind of cheating, but I'm just this is about as quick as I can narrow something down like that. So let's say Led Zeppelin. 1980s. Gosh, you could ask me that question 50 times and you probably get 48 different answers. From start to finish, like first album to last, let's say Depeche Mode. Because I can say Depeche Mode or Billy Idol definitely can hit right there in the 80s. But like I said, if you ask me that on 50 different occasions, I'll give you a gazillion different answers. 1990s, I would say, gosh, again, it's like whether it's, let's say Stone Temple Pilots, the Cranberries, so many in there. So let's just say Stone Temple Pilots and Cranberries. 2000s and beyond. War on Drugs, I would maybe throw them in there because I think A Deeper Understanding is just one of the greatest albums in I don't know how long. Bruce Springsteen's Western Stars, I think is one of the greatest albums of the 2000s, so I guess I would throw that in there. Southeastern by Jason Isbell, one of the greatest albums of the 2000s. So yeah, again, I'm kind of cheating there, but again, just throwing out something because that really is a big question. And the short question is what's going on behind you with the posters and wall hangings covered up in black? That's basically just some soundproofing, sound treatments that I put up. Since I had a little more space here in my office, and I get out of the way there, I kind of set up a listening chair and stuff for my system in here. So I just basically put a little effort into kind of soundproofing at least a portion of the room, just to kind of, I don't know, I'm assuming, well, maybe I'll do another video where I'll kind of talk about, kind of on a one-on-one type of level, the effects of soundproofing, but it just makes my listening experience better and that type of thing. So I just took down some of the posters and put up soundproof foam and all that good stuff. So that's all that is. And it really has made a big difference. Just a totally different experience in listening to this system now with the soundproofing as compared to just the bare walls. So there you go, VC. Thanks once again for the question, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Please go to the video link down below. Leave any more questions that you do have. And as always, let me know what you guys think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.